Welcome to Mind Yourself, a podcast sharing real life stories from real people, alongside conversations about mental health and emotional well-being. Listener discretion is advised, as this episode may include themes some listeners may find distressing. Wherever you're joining us from, whether you're walking, driving, or taking a quiet moment for yourself, you're very welcome here. Let's get started.
It's really lovely to welcome Cian Doyle to the Four Swans Mind Yourself podcast today. Cian, you are well known as an actor, a filmmaker, and also a person in recovery from cocaine and alcohol addiction. How do all those different parts of your identity connect together?
Well, the recovery started first. Actually, my interest in acting started first in 2019. I always wanted to be an actor. From making YouTube videos when I was a teenager, I always had an interest in being on camera for some reason. And then when I was 19, I had an interest in it. I was like, how do I go about doing a course? I actually text Barry Keoghan out of all people, and he actually texted me back. And he gave me some advice on how to go about being an actor, because he says, you're just such an inspiration. How do I, become like you?
Yeah.
And he says, watch a ton of films, pick a scene from the film that you like, and then just do it differently. And record yourself doing it, and then go to Bow Street or the Gaiety. So I went to Bow Street in 2024, but that's just, I'd say, just at the start of my recovery journey. So yeah, like it's, if I wouldn't have become an actor if I wasn't in recovery. I wouldn't have been able to be vulnerable or access them parts of myself that you need to access as an actor. So it's all down to me making that decision to change my life and get into recovery.
Well done.
And you got sober in December of 2023, Cian. What was the moment that made you realise that something had to change for you?
I lost my job in January 2022. No, January 2023, I lost my job, and I said to myself, listen, I don't care about anybody, I don't care about anything, I just do what I want, I just don't care. I'm not working for anybody, I'm not listening to anybody, I just do what I want. And that's what I did. I went on a cocaine and alcohol binge for 6 months, every single week, maybe twice a week, 3 times a week. I didn't care, and I didn't see a problem. Even when other people were saying you're a mess, or you're a disaster, or you were saying things last night and I don't remember, and it didn't stop me, until someone actually sent me a message and says, I'm done with you. I was falling out with people. And it was one weekend over in June, and I was on it 2 days, and it just got messy, and I don't remember some things I did, and I was told over a text message what I did, and I didn't like that. I didn't like how I was treating people and how people were being affected by my behaviour. So I woke up one Monday morning and I said, right, I'm gonna have to do something here. So I rang up a treatment centre. I'd never heard of the Red Door Project in my life, even though it was local to me. But I rang up Smartmore Castle, and I thought it was as easy as picking up the phone, asking them, can I come in? I didn't think there was a waiting list or you have to get referred or anything like that. So I rang them. They said you have to get referred by the HSE. So I rang up the HSE addiction line, and they said, have you ever heard of the Red Door Project? I said, no, never heard of it in my life. So it's an addiction service local to your town. I'd suggest probably knocking into them and seeing what they can do for you. So I did that Monday, and that was it. That was the first decision I made to kind of put a stop to my addiction. But it wasn't easy at the start. I thought I could stop drinking, stop doing cocaine, and still smoke weed. But eventually I couldn't, because my behaviours weren't changing at all. My ambitions to do things weren't changing. My confidence, self-esteem wasn't growing. I wasn't growing, so I was like, right, okay, I'm just trying to get away with it here. I'm trying to hold on to a part of my addiction. I'm trying to be in control of it, but it's not. I didn't have control over it at all. Eventually I would have went back to drinking and doing cocaine, and I did slip up a few times from June to December.
So for you, it was important to give up all of those
Abstinence,
addictions.
Yeah, completely. Everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it all does the same thing.
When people think about recovery, often they think about it as simply giving things up. not simple at all, as we know. But what have you gained through your recovery?
Confidence, good relationships with people, my ability to speak for myself, put boundaries in place. I built a good relationship with my mum before she passed, which is very important to me. Able to show for myself, able to go and get a job and save money. Go and become an actor and follow some sort of dream that you have for yourself. Actually vision yourself actually going and doing something that you always wanted to do but could never do it because you didn't have the support network. But now you just get to know who you really are, and who you always were supposed to be, I suppose.
A lot of people use their addiction as a very unhelpful coping strategy, don't they? What tools do you turn to now instead of your old strategy for those things you're addicted to?
I go to counselling. Big tool that I used in early recovery, I used every day, was journaling. I had a journal. I wrote down the time I woke up, the date. I'd have 2 or 3 entries a day. They wouldn't be massive entries, but they'd just be like, how am I feeling at this moment in time? What are my plans for the day? What am I eating? Stuff like that. It's just a check-in with yourself. It's really nice, because my head can be 100 miles an hour, especially in early recovery, and I can just be so impulsive and trying to people please, and not being able to sit with myself, and still wanting to escape, so you need to kind of be aware of that, so it's good to get self-improvement books, psychology books and stuff like that. I read The Daily Stoic, and that was brilliant. Really got into an insight of how you can change your mindset. It's great.
Cian, you sadly lost your mum just last year.
Yeah.
And grief is a huge challenge in anybody's life. It would have been almost understandable had you returned to your coping mechanism of drink or drugs after her loss, but you didn't. So how did you navigate that really, really difficult period in life without defaulting back into addiction?
It didn't even pop into my head. The drinking drugs did not pop into my head when my mum passed. And I don't know how, I don't know why, I just knew how to cope. I knew how to cope. I knew there was hope. I reached out to family and friends. I went to meetings. I went to meeting the day after she passed, then the day after that, and I just talked about it, and people were there, and I was just people. Surround yourself with people. Don't be on your own when something like that happens to you. If I lost my mum 2 or 3 years ago, I would have went off the rails. But it's because I built up such a strong person over them 18 months or 2 years even, that I was able to be strong. I was able to make my mum proud. So it's why would I throw that away? It's why would I run from this feeling? And it's actually not that bad. It's just a bit scary. Yeah, so
your grief also manifested in your body as physical pain too, didn't it?
Yeah, I got pains in my lower back because I went back to work 10 days after the funeral, and I was working and I was I kind of felt bad that I wasn't working because they were short staffed and people were leaving the job, and I was oh yeah, I'll just go back, it's fine, not thinking, because I was okay up here emotionally. I was okay, but wasn't aware of, because I've never actually went through a grief process before, especially sober, so I didn't understand it. I didn't understand what the side effects are of grief, So I was going to work, and I was working in a barber shop, and I started really bad pains in my lower back, and and they weren't from bending down. I know that, they would not leave. I could rub the gels on them and stuff like that. It'd take a relief away for a while, but as my body's just trying to tell me, you should not be here. Your body doesn't want to be here, but you're trying to convince yourself you're alright when you're not. Something has to break down inside you when you lose someone. You're going through a grief process, whether that's the emotional side that comes out first, or the mental side, or the physical side. One side will just collapse. And I think my body was just trying to tell me just take time off, like. So I did take time off, and like I don't get them pains now, which is good, like. So.
And you decided to pursue your passion of acting.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that, and when that came into your life, and how it came into your life, and how that became such an important part of your recovery.
Yeah, so I think like I always kind of knew I had something for the camera. I just had something. I was like 12 years of age, 13 years of age, making YouTube videos. So it was actually me and my cousin. And I looked up to Anton Deck when I was a teenager, and I was always watching the Saturday Night Takeaway, and I thought they are deadly, like they are the business, like. And I was like, I want to be like them. I want to just wear the suit and just be like so free in your how you present yourself. TV entertainment presenters, like that was just like that was so cool for me, like. So I decided, right, me and my cousin are going to make our own skit version of the Saturday Night Takeaway and call it Keen and Matthew Saturday Night Takeaway, and we did, and we completely improvised it, and we used the same intro track for the next Saturday Night Takeaway as ours, and we made like a few YouTube videos, and I really thought it was cool, like, and one of the videos got 1,000 views, like, and everyone in school would have like slagged me over saying, "What are you doing? You're stupid." And I was like, I like it, like. So then my cousin decided, "Right, I'm going to delete all them videos because I don't like it." Didn't inform me he was going to delete them. Deleted the YouTube channel. I was heartbroken. So I said, "Right, I'm going to keep going and making YouTube videos." And then that was it, like. Then obviously becoming, in my later teens, losing interest in pretty much everything, gaining interest in like the wrong people, or smoking, drinking, doing drugs and stuff like that. And then I picked up an interest for it when, you know, I was leaving my teens, like 18, 19. I was like, oh yeah, sure, I want to do something. And like I did become a barber, but I don't think that was it. Like I don't think I was done with my interests and my hobbies and what I wanted to be. I knew there was something more in me, but I didn't know how to do it. And I was quite like easily led, so nobody would really back me when I was making these big career decisions or life decisions to make it, like go and do a hobby or make any interest in anything, because the people I surround myself with were very, you know, they weren't enthusiastic. Let's just say that. So yeah, I obviously reached out to Barry Keoghan when I was 19 and asked him how did he do it, and he gave me some advice back, and I have the screenshot on my phone. It's great, like. And it took me a few years to go and pursue that. Like I decided to do an acting workshop with Baz Black, Dermot Goggins and William Morgan in October 2023. I was in the Red Door at this time, and Joanne O'Dwyer, she was on this podcast, she actually sent me the link for the course, the workshop, and she says you should go and do that. And I was in Dundalk, and I went and did that. It was my first time doing any sort of workshop for acting and any of that. And that day I went to do that course, I actually got accepted to go into Bow Street, which is the biggest acting academy in Ireland. They have a new education place for Bow Street in LA, which is big. Like they're going all around the world, like, which is great. So I went to do Bow Street in January 2024, and that was 6 months. That was twice a week, and I loved it. That also kept me sober. That kept me on the right track, because I knew I was doing that every week for 6 months. So I was like, right, something to look forward to, like something to keep my mind off, like being bored or being stagnant or being complacent, like. So that's it, like that really kept me going. And then like I didn't give up. Like most people who do the acting courses, they don't see results, or they don't get an agent, or they don't get any acting jobs or be in any films or TV shows like within the first year, and they give up. I didn't. I knew it was going to take a long time, and I just loved it for the passion of it and just who I became as a person from doing that, and what that fed my soul. You can't buy it. So it's like, that's why I just kept doing it, like.
And Cian, you created a short film called Bereavement.
That's correct, yeah.
What inspired you to create that?
Well, I wrote the film in over like 2 weeks at Christmas time, and I was like, I want to make a film about grief, because I lost my mum in July, and I also want to make a film about addiction. And how do I do that? Well, I don't know how it, like, one idea became two ideas, became the whole idea of bereavement, but it just did. And I kept writing. I have an app on my phone that you can actually write scripts on, and I was in work when it was quiet, and I was just like typing away, and it was great. Like, and I was like, right, I have an idea. There's two brothers. They're after losing their mum. One is coping with their grief through addiction and destructive behaviour and avoidance, and one is going seeking support in counselling service, like bereavement counselling services in Southside, and they have to live under the one roof together. And there's conflict, there's family conflict going on. There's addiction, and then the brother who gets into addiction actually gets into recovery because his brother has had enough of his behaviour, and eventually the brother finds him outside, passed out, and you have to get help. You're gonna end up like mom if you don't get the help, like, and he eventually does, like, and then they actually go and revisit the grave, and it's a really sweet moment because the brother who was in addiction gets 1 year sober, and he leaves the key tag on the grave. I don't want to ruin it, but like,
You're giving all the spoilers.
yeah, no, but it's
Where can people watch the movie?
The film is yet to be released. I'm hoping when this podcast episode is out, it will be out. It's not going to be out to the public though, because it ruins the production value. So I will be doing the festival run with it, trying to win a few awards for my writing and cinematography, and just a few awards for the film and stuff like that. I will be doing a private release in the Drogheda Arts Centre, so I'm sure you will be invited to that as well.
I'd love to, thank you. Yeah.
So yeah, but there'll be a private link on YouTube, so if you do want to watch it, you'll have to ask me for permission to watch it, because it's just the way it is.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Cian, something that you're also quite passionate about is speaking to young people about addiction, confidence, and just kind of finding their way in life. It's a tough world for young people today, isn't it?
It really is, yeah.
What do you think young people struggle with the most?
Just identity, like what to do in life, what interests do they have? You're not going to find your interests on social media. I don't think, anyway. You might. I think a lot of kids nowadays want to be influencers, or like, you know, I see, I'm a barber, and I see a lot of young people wanting to, like, when they finish school and they're in 6th year, and I'm like, what are you going to do after school? Like, oh, just get a trade. I get it. You just want to make money, or else your family are in the business, and it's easier. It's an easy way out. Just get a trade. Like, it's not very, broaden your horizons a bit. Like, what interests have we got? What hobbies have we got? And like, they're probably standing around like the corners, like smoking weed, or just going to parties and trying to get into nightclubs, like, and stuff like that. And it's like,
if there are any young people listening to this episode, what message would you love to give them?
It's a tough question to ask, because I was that young kid, like, and I got into bad behaviours, and I got into trouble and stuff like that. But I always had something in me. There was always something burning inside me to say, this isn't you. You shouldn't be doing this. So find a good group of people that you can confide in, and try and just take up hobbies. Go to the gym, or take up running. Just take up some sort of class that isn't you sitting around the streets looking for something to do, or you can get easily led into the wrong group of friends. Like,
so fill their time productively.
Or like, talk about what's going on for you. You can easily hide it and pretend you're cool, and oh no, there's nothing wrong with me, like, and this and that, and I'm one of the lads and all. Like, I was at it. You know what I mean? Like, it's so easy to do, like, but you'll eventually find out that there's more for you. There is more for you out there. You just need to allow yourself to be creative. Just be creative. Start writing, or like start, doing poetry or stuff like that. Like, a lot of young lads wouldn't even, they'd laugh at me saying do acting or do drama or do like theatre or something. They'd laugh. They'd just be like, what are you on about? I would never do that at all.
Was there somebody who was particularly inspirational to you in following your dreams? Where did you get your support from?
I suppose my family, like, they'd always have me back. They'd always, like, like, they'd always be so supportive of me, like, especially my mum and my auntie and stuff like that. Like, um, when I went to outreach, I finished school and I went to outreach, and I found the teachers to be so supportive in what I wanted to do. You know, they loved hearing about people actually wanting to go on and do more education or wanting to get a job in a particular field. Like, so they'd always push you to do that. Obviously Barry Keoghan was an inspiration for me. Like, um, yeah, I feel like I feel like my family were big supporters of me, but my mum would always tell me I was on the pink planet, like, because I'd come out with these like mad ideas, like I'd have no money, no job, but I'm going to Australia. Like, be realistic. And I was always at it. I was always like unrealistic dreams. Like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I want to get a car. I want to go on holidays. I'm gonna go to Australia for a year. It's gonna be great. It's like, how though? How are you gonna do that? Do you have savings? Like, can you hold down a job? Like, think realistic. Think. My mom would always say that to me, like, and she's right. Read the instructions. That's what she'd say. I'd always want to start making stuff. I wouldn't know how to make it, and I don't need to read the instructions. I'll just put it together. Like, sure, that's what the instructions are there for.
A lot of people struggle with lack of self-confidence or lack of self-belief. Is that something that's been difficult for you?
Yeah, early recovery. Yeah, starting an acting course, and like, I don't think I had confidence before doing acting. I think acting gave me the confidence. I couldn't watch myself on screen for like ages, and then eventually I did. Yeah, confidence is not like confidence in any area. Like, even going and speaking to young people in the outreach that I did recently, like, and putting up a presentation, and even coming on a podcast and talking about these subjects that I wouldn't have been comfortable with talking about in the past, but now I've no shame around it because I'm proud of myself. I've nothing to hide, and I think there's no shame in like changing your life for the better and being an inspiration to others. Like, I don't really like use my social media platform to talk about my addiction and recovery. I didn't, but now I think I might, but it's because my platform is strictly for acting. I might have to make a different platform. I don't know. But yeah, I'd find it hard to actually, you'd think by being an actor, I'd find it easy to pick up my phone and record myself talking to the phone. I hate it. Because my head will always tell me, you sound stupid, nobody cares, don't upload that. Nobody wants to hear that. You're talking for too long, or you're not interested. So I still have voices in my head that'll try and talk me out of uploading a video of me talking. But I think it's just, you have to do it, because fear will take you away from doing something magical, that could help someone else. Like, I still have my days where I struggle with confidence, but I know deep down I've evidence to prove that I can do pretty much anything. There's nothing I can't do, and I've said that from early recovery. There's nothing I can't do. But once I'm sober, I can actually do anything. It's a superpower, just not like it's a superpower, just knowing you had a problem with drinking drugs and then like not going back there. So you can do anything. You put your mind to it.
Okay, and something that can often be impacted in recovery is your relationships with other people. Having to set healthy boundaries, which often people are not comfortable with. What has your experience been like in recovery of how you connect with other people in your life?
Quite good. Quite mixed. Quite mixed. I think early recovery for me was kind of challenging because my nanny was drinking at the time, and my mum was still drinking at the time. And I would have to tell them that I'm not going to the off license for you anymore. They'd always tell me, "Oh, go down to Tesco and get me a few cans and get yourself something nice." And like, all right, yeah, no bother. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, people pleasing, the yes man. you know. And then one day I just says, no, I'm not comfortable going into an off license to get you alcohol because I don't drink now. Relationships, romantic relationships, challenging. Have always been challenging for me, even when I'm not in recovery. They are improving. I've seen massive improvements in my romantic relationships. Still can come up with challenges, and that kind of stems back to your childhood. I've been looking at that with an app on my phone called Better Me, and it's a relationship healing plan on it, and I've been looking at that and it's like, whoa, okay, that explains it a lot. Boundaries with family at the minute, difficult, because there was a conflict going on in my family recently and nothing got to do with me at all. So I'm like, right, okay, if it's not got to do with me, it's not my mess. I'm not cleaning up. And if I don't want to speak to you and I don't want to speak to you, I'll tell you that. But they don't understand that. They don't understand that their actions have consequences. And if it means I have to step away, it's very hard to do that now, especially with family. You know, I can still be quite soft. But I can twist the narrative on that and say, what if you just take yourself out of a bad situation that you haven't caused and try and just leave them in their mess? If they've made a mess, leave them at it. Don't try and come and figure it out or, you know, give them a pat on the back. Like, try and just step away and look after yourself. Like, mind yourself. In all that chaos. You can observe it, but it's still negative to observe, like, because you don't like it, because it's not what you're aligned with. And if other people are making bad decisions and bad behaviours, like, it's not something I want to align with. Because what you see is monkey see, monkey do, or like, who you surround yourself with is who you become nearly, you know. So it's like,
yeah, it's very true.
it can be quite difficult. So, but I try to have a different approach at it. I try to bring it back to me. How can I step out of it? And is it in my control or out of my control? And just ask yourself a few questions before you jump in and try and like fix other people's mess, or like, you know, get in the cage with them and start, you know, fighting with them. Like, don't have to do any of that. And I'm learning that slowly, like, but it just takes a while.
Spirituality is something that's become important to you in your recovery journey, or energy, and you use the word positive frequency or vibration.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so like it comes back to the boundaries, like since I've been putting in these healthy boundaries, like of like what I can control and what I can't control, and like who I can surround myself with and who I don't have to. I don't always have to be trying to save people or help people when they're in like in their chaotic situations or in like crisis. I don't have to run and save the day, or I don't have to come up with a solution to how you're gonna fix yours. Like, I don't have to. So it's like when you actually decide to, you know, put yourself first and put healthy boundaries in place and actually look after you and mind yourself. It's like the serenity prayer, you know. Grant me serenity, accept things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference. When you can feel that being applied to your life, when you can apply it to your life, it's like you operate in a higher frequency. You know what you can let in and you know what you can push away. It is difficult because of people you care about. But it's like when you have a strong like fence up, like, and you have it up most of the time, and you carry yourself with this higher frequency, like, it's like you are so aware of yourself and you're so aware of them and what they're doing, and you know what they're trying to do or trying to manipulate you, and you're like, no, you can either allow it or you can just sit there and not allow it, like, and they can't get through to you. You're like, right, yeah. So like recently I'm doing that, like, with family, and I'm like, I'm not entertaining your, like, excuse my language, bullshit. You know, I'm not entertaining it because you're trying to go on as if nothing ever happened, and I know exactly what happened. So I'm not going to be all pally and have a laugh and have a joke and pretend like nothing happened, because I know what happened. So I'll have a conversation with you, but I won't act like you're acting, because you're acting as if nothing happened and you didn't behave in that sort of way, like. So it's like when I put boundaries in place and I'm actually practicing the program, as I say in recovery, I feel like you just operate in such a positive higher frequency, like you don't allow negative energy to even enter your space, like you such control over that, and it's powerful, like. But that's why I kind of tap into like a higher power of my understanding. And it's taken, what, 2.5 years for me to kind of understand how my higher power works for me, like. And it could be my mom, and it could be God. It's whatever you think it is. But I always check in with them, like, even the journaling and stuff like that, it's, you're giving that away to someone else. You're not keeping it inside, you're keeping it inside here and letting it fester in your brain, and then you'll go out and make bad decisions because you're holding on to a resentment or anger or frustration towards someone else. No, it's not worth it. So when you decide to let go and let God or whatever you think it is, like, there's such peace in your life, such freedom. You're not influenced by other people's stuff, you know.
And do you consider yourself to be recovered or fixed or healed or cured?
No. There's parts of me that is recovered. But I have to, yeah, there's parts of me that's definitely recovered, like. But I looked at a picture of myself from 3, 4, 5 years ago, in a bad state of affairs, like. Really sad, like. I was actually in a counselling session there on Thursday, and I was on a couch, and I put my arm like that, and I didn't actually, there was no meaning behind me putting my arm out like that, but I was just resting my arm. And then I start going into a conversation about my 18-year-old self, because that's when I feel like my addiction got really bad, like, because I was actually aware of what I was doing. And you have to go out and get a job, you have to be responsible for yourself, you have to be independent, you're not a child anymore. So all the decisions you make are all you're on your own, kind of, you know. So when I put my arm out like that, and then I start having a conversation with my 18-year-old self, like, it was like I was giving him a hug. It was like I was like, and then, like, my counsellor asked me a question, like, what would you say to him? Like, I just laugh at him. I just kind of laugh at him and just mind him, but like laugh. It's like, you're a bad fella. Like, you're just mad. But like, it brings a smile to my face now, because I know that I can look back and smile and say, yeah, we got up to some mad stuff, but like, we're all right now. Like, we're actually cool now. Like, so yeah, I've recovered that part of myself, because I know I won't go back to making them decisions. But I can still, if I don't keep an eye on myself, if I don't keep in check with myself, like, I could make impulsive decisions. I could be selfish, self-centered, self-seeking. I could just like let it all slip very, very slowly. I could start being resentful, and I could start having an ego, and I could start like thinking I'm better than people, and, you know, I don't want to be like that. I just want to like be good to me, and how I treat myself is how I will treat others. That's what I believe. Like, if I treat myself badly, nobody's gonna get treated well. Like, yeah, so I'm not recovered. I don't think I ever will be. But that is the good thing about it, because I know I can improve every single day. Like, if I had it all figured out, like, I don't think I'd be here talking to you. Like, I don't think it's because I'd be full of ego and full of, oh, I'm great, like, look at what I've done. Yeah, there's still more to be done. I'm 26 years of age, like, I wouldn't want it to be completed. No.
And what do you think your mum would be most proud of if she could see who you are today?
Just that I've carried on just doing what I love, and I feel like she is part of who I am today. Like, she's a big part of who I am today, because like, she allows me to go on this journey of recovering, healing, and I don't have to worry about it, and I don't have to worry about her. She's at peace, I'm at peace. Yeah, she'd be very proud of me, like, and all the good things that are happening in my life, like, you know, the movie being made, and me going on RLM, and all the publicity, and it's all because of her. She's allowing for all the success to happen to me. She is allowing for that to happen, like, because the only challenge is me. The only barrier is me. Like, I can only get my own way. Nothing can stop me. Like, So yeah, she's allowing for that to happen. She's opened all the gates. It's in them through. It's good. It's alright.
Cian, thank you so much for sharing your story in such an honest and vulnerable way.
Thank you.
I suppose the last question that we ask everybody who comes onto the podcast is, how do you mind yourself in this journey?
I just get up every day, be grateful. Like I try to go to as many meetings as I can. Like I'm not perfect. I just keep the desire alive that I'm gonna be very successful. I already am successful. Like, but I try to stay humble, and I just try to keep my life as simple as possible. No drama, no chaos. Spirituality is important. Having good connections with people, showing up for myself and others, giving back. That all fills my cup, you know. That's how I mind myself. Talk nicely to myself. Try to get a bit of exercise in. Eat well. Drink plenty of water. I take creatine every day because I know it's very good for the brain. Take my vitamins and stuff like that. Like I try to just do the right thing. Do the next right thing. And sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. But, you know, I just try to keep doing what I've done already, and I should be alright.
Cian, thank you so much again for coming on today.
Thanks so much for having me.
We look forward to Bereavement.
Yeah, thank you.
That is it for today's episode of Mind Yourself. If something in this conversation has resonated with you, share it with someone who might need to hear it, because these are the conversations that matter. Don't forget to follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you're enjoying the podcast, a quick rating or review really helps us to reach more people. So until next time, mind yourself.